Hello, greetings to you and welcome to the Day Tutor once again. My name is Afari Ernest and today we are going to look at factors of production under microeconomics. Okay, so let's look at some basic concepts under factors of production or theory of production. Let me make it theory of production. So theory of production. So we are going to look at some terms like diminishing returns, total, average, and marginal products. There are various shapes and stages in production. We will talk about marginal rates of technical substitution, characteristics of isocost, production equilibrium, and the expansion part. Okay, so let's start with some of the basic concepts under production. One is firm. Okay, so when we say firm, what do we mean by a firm? A firm is an organization or a business unit. So wherever you go and or any shop, let me put it this way: when you go to the market, any shop that you see is a firm. Do you get it? And so it is firms that comes together to form what an industry or a market. So a business unit is a firm. A business unit is a firm. Okay, so if you see someone selling, let's say, um, tomato paste, okay, or someone selling kivo gari and the rest, is that is a firm. That single business unit is a firm. But then too many business firms comes together to form what an industry. So when we say industry, it is just group of firms, okay, group of firms. Then let's also look at inputs. Now, under theory of production, when we say inputs, we are talking about what? The materials or the factors that are being used for what production. That is the inputs we are talking about. So, if you want to manufacture a marker, the materials that you are going to use to manufacture this marker, they are all what? Inputs. So, for the input, a factor of production that goes into producing an output. So, factor of production. Yes. So if you want to produce, let's say, a shoe, the leather, the material, the lace, everything that you are going to use is referred to as the input or the factor of producing that particular output, which is the shoe. Okay. So we will also hear some terms like short run and long run. So we have short run and long run. So short run and long run, there are two periods in economics. And for the short run period, here we are saying all the factors of production, at least one of the factors must be what? Constant or fixed. So under the short run, one of the factors, we have to get one factor fixed. Yes. Then for the long run, all variable. They must all adapt to changes. So for the short run, we are saying one factor must be what's fixed. When you talk about the factors of production, you see we have what? Land, we have labor, we have capital, and entrepreneur. So we have these four factors of what? Production. So we are saying under the short run time period, at least one of these factors must be what? Fixed or constant. And mostly it is what? The land. Because when you come to the short run, you only need, let's say, you are doing the business for the very short run period. Okay, you are not doing it as in you want to make the business permanent, but then you just want to do it seasonal because let's say those that are selling uh, cakes, Valentine gifts, and all that. You see that their occupation or their business is just what seasonal. So within a year or the whole year, they are not going to do anything about the vast packages and the rest. It is only on vast day that they will produce such what items. So for their business, it is on what short run. Okay, so they don't need to expand their land, capital, labor or any other thing. So at least one of them must be what fixed, and most of the time it is what the land. Okay, yes. When we get to the body of the topic, we will just understand it more. Then for the long run, we are saying all variables must be what all the factors must be what variable. So the land, the labor, capital, and entrepreneur, they must all be what variable. They must all adapt to what changes because you are doing the business in the long run. So when you get a plot of land initially like this, okay, maybe you are producing plywoods and the rest, but then if your business is on the long run, it means it will get to a point in time that you will need to what expand the land to this size. So you see that the land in this time period is not what fixed. It adapts to what changes. Once you expand the land, you are going to employ more people, right? So that one to change. You are going to invest more capital. That one to what change. Okay. So when you talk about the short run, that one you have what a fixed land like this. Okay, because you are just doing the business in the short run, just temporary. Okay, so you have what a small piece of land like this. Once you get labor or employees for your business, let's say you have 4 employees for your business, because you are not going to expand in the near future or you are just on the short run period, it's very simple. You are just going to maintain this. Okay, you are just going to maintain this, but this is for what the long run, this for the short run. Okay, so let's look at the law of diminishing returns. So we are starting with the body of the topic. Let's look at another term called the law of diminishing returns. So the law of diminishing returns is also known as law of diminishing marginal productivity. Okay, and what does this law say? You see, and this law only happens in the short run. Okay, so put it in mind. You can get it in the multiple choice. The law of marginal returns or law of diminishing marginal productivity. Diminishing marginal returns. Okay, so this law only happens in the short run. Why? It is because in the short run you have what one of the factors was fixed, especially what the land. Okay, and so we are saying as and when you are producing more, okay, as and when you are producing more, you are surely going to what diminish in what productivity, and this is why under the short run method or short run period or time. You see, you have land to be fixed. Okay, so let's say just one piece, the same piece of land, and you are going to employ more labor, right? So you are going to get more people on board. So first of all, you introduce, let's say at the beginning of the business, you have 2 people working for you on one piece of land. So this is the land. You have only 2 people working, okay, and they are giving you a total product. They are giving you a total product of let's say 8. Okay, then you employ another labor, that is the third labor. The third labor comes in, so now you have gotten 3, right? The third labor comes in and now you are getting let's say 10. The fourth labor comes in and you are still getting 10. So you see, one piece of land, the same size, nothing has changed to it. But then you keep on employing labor. And so now for the fourth labor, this labor 4, you are getting what? The same 10. So you can see that the previous one was giving you 10. After you employ the next one, it is still giving you what? 10. Okay. So if you don't stop here, when you get here, when you employ the last person and you see that there is no change, it is not giving you any positive feedback, then it means you have to stop. If you don't stop and you keep on employing and you employ labor 5, it is going to diminish. So you see that 5. So that is when you see that there are more people on small piece of land. So when they are working, the productivity is very low because they are many. They are going to talk. They are going to sometimes they are going. There is going to be competition when there is tasks for them to perform, this person will be like, you have to do this, you have to do that. But then if they are few on that small piece of land, productivity is very effective. So once you keep on employing more people on the same small or on the same piece of land, productivity is definitely going to decrease. And so if you don't maintain it here and you employ another person, you are going to diminish, and that is where you will come back to, let's say, 7. Labor 6 will come and will give you 4. I hope you get it. So when we say the law of diminishing marginal returns, or the law of diminishing marginal, the law of diminishing marginal productivity, what we are saying is, marginal here means the outputs that the next labor will bring on board. Okay, so what is the output that this next labor is bringing on board? This next labor is what? 3 labor 3, and he is bringing what? 10. When he came, he added 2 to the already existing what? 8. Now we have what? 10. So what we are saying under the law of diminishing marginal returns is that, one, don't forget it happens under the short run what? Time period, and 2, it is because when you employ more labor on the fixed cost, the fixed factor, you are going to what? Surely increase in total output. Then you later what? Reduces. Okay, it's very simple, because the difference between this is 2. The difference between this is what? 0. The difference between this is negative 3. The difference between this is what? Negative uh, 3. Okay, let me say it this way. Yeah. So you see that you are just, okay, we don't know here, so let's say 0. So you started from 0, you go to 2, now back to 0, negative 3, and negative 3. Okay, so that is the law of diminishing marginal returns. Okay, we will solve a question on that. So let's look at um, the production function. The production function. This is where we'll be looking at the average cost curves, total cost curves, and the rest. Okay. So let's first look at the total product. I shouldn't have cleaned it. Okay. Let's look at the total product. When we talk about the total product, it's very simple here. The total product is mostly given to you in the question, okay? Because you cannot calculate for the total product, but then there is an assumption under microeconomics, everything is assumption, that if you are having a fixed factor as the land and you bring in what? A labor, then the more that you are bringing labors on board, it means they are probably going to what? Diminish what? Returns. That is what I earlier did here. Okay. Yes. And so for the total product, we are saying once it is diminishing, then it means the total product will what? Diminish. So we just use assumption to give a question of that. So have it in mind that per every question that you are going to get, there will be what? A total product. But then you are the one going to look for the marginal product, the average product, and the rest. Okay. All right. Then let's look at one thing here. Let's look at one thing here. You see, when you have a fraction, okay, when you have a fraction, total product, we are looking at the marginal product, okay. We are looking at the marginal product. And the marginal product is just the difference between the total product. Okay, so let's say you have total product at level 2, then you subtract total product at level 1 from it, then labor at level 2 minus labor at level 1. Okay, yes. So the difference between the labor is just 1, because you have a fixed land, and at the end, if you have labor 1, you employ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that you see that the difference between the labor is what? Constant, just 1. Okay, so we are just going to get 1 here, right? Then you are going to get 1 here, and your total product here as well. So we will just get a full question. Then we look at how to calculate for the total product, the average product, and the marginal product as well. Okay, so we will take a full question, then we will look at that. But before then, let's first interpret the curves. Okay, let's interpret the curves. Okay, now we have a question on the board. So let's look at how to solve a question like this in an examination. Okay, so you have the land, which is the fixed factor. You have the labor here, a variable factor, but then at the very first stage, no labor, labor one, the second labor came in, the third labor came in, so we had what, the 8 labor. Then we have the total product here. Okay, I will also teach you a situation when average product is given, marginal product is given, how you use the same procedure to calculate for what, total product in an examination. But before then, in most cases, total product will be given to you in an examination. So let's have the land, labor, and the total product. So now we are going to look at how to calculate for the average product and the marginal product. Then we draw their curves and interpret them. Okay. So at the very first stage of production, now we have applied our land. Okay. So we don't have any labor because it is a fixed factor. We still have to incur it, so it's more of a fixed cost. Do you get it? That is why we have land as a fixed cost. Just the same piece of land, even if you don't have labor, you still have to get the land first before labor. Okay. So here, since you don't have labor who is working on that particular land, it means production is what, 0. Okay. And so at the very first stage, you are going to have your total product to be what, 0. Okay. But then for the rest of the total product, it does not come with any criteria, just that it's just an assumption. Okay, so all the figures that you are seeing here, they are just some assumption. But then have it in mind that at the very first stage of what, production, total product is what, 0, average product is what, 0, and we don't even have what, marginal product for that. I will just explain it when we get there, but have it in mind that at the beginning of every production, total product is what, 0, average product is what, 0. Just put this one in mind. Okay, so we have the average product to be 0 here. Now how do we even calculate for the average product? When we say average, what do we mean by average? Okay, so average is just, it's more of mean. Okay, so your total over what, the quantity. Okay, and here the quantity, the emphasis is on what, labor. Okay, for land, just ignore it because you are not going to use it in any of the calculations. It's just labor and total product. And the quantity here, we are talking about what, the variable factor here, which is the labor. Okay, so for average product AP is equal to your total product divided by the labor at the same what, level. So if you are using the total product for level 3 or level 4, then you would have to divide it by labor at level 3 or what, level 4. Okay, so here is level 2. So here our total product is 3 and our labor is what, 1. So AP2 is equal to, the total product is what, 3, and we divide it by labor, which is 1. And so we have what, 3 here as our average product. So when we get here to it is going to be this stage divided by this stage. Okay, so our average product 3 is equal to 8 on 2, which is 4. Okay, so we have 4 as average here. When you get here, 12 divided by 3 will give you 4, and 15 divided by 4 will give you 3 whole number, 3 over 4. Okay, in most cases write them in mixed fraction, not in decimals. Okay, and 17 on 5 will also give us 3 whole number, is it 2 on 3, right? 3 whole number, 2 on 3. And the next one we have 2 whole number 5 on 6, 2 whole number 5 on 6. Okay, then we have 2 whole number 2 on 3, 2 whole number 2 on, and the last one is 1 whole number 5 on 7, 1 whole number 5 on 7. Okay, but then the calculation is just 13 divided by 8. Whatever you get is the answer. So okay, 13 divided by 8, whatever you get is the answer. 16 divided by 7 is here, 17 divided by 6. Okay, so you can just do it for the average product. Okay, so that is all for the average product. Now let's look at the marginal product. For the marginal product, we are talking about what? The difference between what? The total product divided by the difference between what? The labor. Okay, so when you pick the marginal product at level 2, it means it is going to be the total product at level 2 minus total product at level 1 divided by labor at level 2 minus labor at level what? 1. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. Okay, so this is what we are going to do for marginal product. So marginal product, because we don't know the one that comes before the first stage, this is going to be what? It's not even what? 0, because it is going to be dash. So you just bring your dash here. Then you always start from the level 2, because you always need what? 1 2 1 2 1 2 like this before you can be able to compute for the marginal product. Okay, so for marginal product, we are saying it is the difference between the total product here. So the total product is 3 minus 0 over 1 minus 0. So you are going to get 3 on 1, which is 3. That is stage 2. So you have the marginal product to be what? 3 here. Okay. Then we move on to stage 3 here. So it means we are going to use the total product for stage 3 and total product for stage 2. Okay. So that is 8 minus, it is going to be 8 minus what? 3 over 2 minus 1. So you are getting 5 over 1, 5. Okay, so you have 5 here as your marginal product. And here too you have what? 12 and 3. Sorry, 12 and 8. So you have MP4 is equal to 12 minus 8 over 3 minus 2. So you have 4 over 1. That is 4. Okay, so you have 4 here. And here is going to be 50 minus 12 will give you 3, and this one will give you 1. Okay, so you have 3 here. 17 minus 15 is going to give you 2. 17 minus 17 0 here. Okay, so 16 minus 17 here divided by 7 over 6 is the same as 16 minus 17, which is negative 1. And 30 minus 16 is negative 3. Okay, so we are done with our table. Now let's look at the graph. Okay, so we are going to interpret what? The table with respect to what? The various graphs. So since we know how to calculate for the average product and the marginal product now, let's look at their various graphs. Okay, so the shape of the average product, let's look at it very well and just analyze how the shape is going to be. The average product is starting from what? 0. So suppose you have a graph like this. This is what? 0. So average product will start from what? 0, will rise. So this stage, okay? Then it will fall again. Have you seen it? So the average product will just rise, attain maximum, then it will start falling again. So this is what? Average product. So we normally say for average product curve, it is always what? N shape. Okay. Then let's also look at the marginal product. This is the marginal product. We are starting from 3. We rise to 5. We fall, we fall, we fall. So we get to what? Negative. But let's compare the marginal product with what? The average product. So initially they all rise together. So they all started from let's say 0, 3 going. But then you see that average marginal product here is rising what faster than this, because this one started from 3 to 4. This one started 3 to 5. So this one rises faster than this. Okay, so when they are rising and marginal product rises faster than the average product, it means it will just come here. Okay, then it will also fall from 5, 4, 3 to, meanwhile this one is falling what slowly. Meanwhile this one is also falling what faster. Okay, so they all rise, but the marginal product rises faster. They all attain maximum because this maximum is equal to what marginal product. So have it in mind that the average product and the marginal product, they all rises um, in the early stages. Do you get it? And when they all rises and gets to the maximum, that is when they both what fall. So you see that they will all rise and get to a point where the average product is equal to what the marginal product. So this is the average product, this is the marginal product. They will rise, they all attain the maximum, and they will fall. But when they are falling, so you see that this point is where it is equal to what 4, where they are meeting. The 4 that we see here, that is where the two of them are meeting. So they rise together, but marginal product rises faster than the average product. But when they all get to their maximum, the marginal product falls faster than the average product. So you see that when they are falling to, the marginal product will fall more than faster than the average product. So this is how the curve for average product and marginal product is. Okay, there's the curve. Okay, and what again? For total product, because it is total product, it is always going to be more than them. Okay, it is always going to be more than them. It rises high above them, then it also falls just like them. Okay, but then the relationship between the average product and the marginal product is what you have to take very good care of. Okay, because in an examination you just have to know that for the average product and the marginal product, they all rises at the initial stages. Both of them, they attain what maximum. Then after getting to the maximum, the marginal product passes through the average product. Is that okay? Yes, and you see that that is the point here. I hope that is clear. Okay, then let's see if there is any other interpretation from the table. Yes, so for the marginal product, it will just fall, so it becomes what negative, so it's supposed to be here. So you see that once you crosses this line, it becomes what negative. That is what you see here. So marginal product always crosses what the x-axis down there. Okay, that is it. Then for marginal product, it will just be hanging. Okay, because the marginal product can never be 0 if the total product here is not 0, because you are using the total product to calculate for the average product. So once the total product divided by this is giving you this, divided by this is giving you this. Since the total product is not equal to 0, it means there is no way your average product will be equal to what? 0. Have that information in your head. Okay. Okay. So now, since we are done with our calculation and how the curve looks like, let's proceed to the stages in production. Okay, the stages in production. So for the stages in production, we have 3 stages. We have stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, right? So for the first stage, this is stage 3. This is the third stage. Stage 1, 2, 3. Okay, then from the maximum, where is the maximum? This, the maximum for the marginal, and to 0. So this place is stage 2, and this is stage 1. Okay, so here we say stage 1 goes from the origin to where the average product of the variable factor, that is the labor, is what? Maximum. Okay, so where do we maximize it so that you wouldn't be confused? It is 4 and always it will just repeat, but always start from the initial one because this is the maximum. Okay, they are both the maximum. So you just start from this place to where you have the zero returns. Okay, and the stage 3 carries on from the negative returns. And so there's the interpretation when you want to, these are the stages. Okay, so there's the interpretation when you want to make a business decision. Okay, now for business decision, you don't a rational producer will not produce in stage 3, right? That is what we are saying, because in at this stage you are not getting anything, you are rather what? Losing. You are looking at it from what? The point of marginal product. The next labor that you are employing is not adding anything positive to your what? Productivity, right? So all that you need to do is you need to what? Stop. At this point, you just need to stop. You don't need to be in this stage. Okay, yes. So just or any rational producer, that is what we are saying. Rational. So whenever you see rational in this in economic, it means we are talking about what? All other things being what? Equal. Someone who is very sound and someone who has what? Someone who is business minded will not produce in the third stage. That is what we mean. And when we come to the second stage, we are saying that is the point or the stage where you can produce more. Okay, because at this stage any extra labor that you add will increase what? Productivity. Okay, so stage 1 you had 3 and that is within stage 1, the very first stage. When you introduce labor 2, that person what? Increase what? The marginal product, right, from 3 to what? 5. So it means that person brought something positive to your productivity or your business, right? So you have to start from this stage here. The next person that you employed, although the person came, but then you had a total product of 12, but the returns, the marginal returns diminished a little bit. But then we are saying since you have not gotten to 0, you still have to keep on what? Producing and employ. Okay, still be producing because your total product will be increasing. So just increase more, try to produce more, even if your marginal product is diminishing a little bit. Is that good? Yes. So you come to the fourth labor, you employ the fourth labor. You see, you have increased what? Total product, but then your marginal product has reduced. Since your marginal product has still not gotten to 0, you still have to what? Produce. Now labor 5 has increased the productivity from 15 to what? 17. And here the marginal product has also reduced. Still we don't care because it has not gotten to what? 0. Now when the sixth labor came in, that is when our productivity remained what? Constant, because we did not increase in what? Total product, in our total product. And so our marginal product was what? 0. So it means when the sixth labor comes in, as a rational business man, what you have to do is you just have to stop at this point. You stop at this point. You start from here and you stop at this point. That is why we are saying stage 2 is what? The perfect stage for production decision what? Making, because here you are making you are increasing total product, so you get here, then you stop. If you don't stop and you keep on employing, those extra people that are coming are going to give you negative returns. That is what we are basically what? Saying. Okay, yes. So the best stage for your production is always what? The stage 2. Okay, yes. We will pick a full practical question on this theory of production and solve it in another video so that you get more understanding of it. Okay, yes. So now we are done with the short run, because we know under the short run we have only one with fixed factor. Okay, we have one fixed factor. Now we are going to the long run whereby all factors of production are what? Variable. Okay, that is what we are going to do next.